Hello, good morning, everyone. How are you today? We are from Group 6, going to present about our lesson plans. It's about the using of Prose for teaching EFL. All right, this is our lesson plan. For the school is for SMA Negeri 4 Singaraja, and for the class and semester is for 11 grade students for the odd semester, and for the subject is English. And for the topic of our lesson plan is narrative text, especially in short story. And for the time allocation is 2 times 40 minutes. And for the day and the date is on Friday, May 19, 2022. All right, everyone, I'm Philemon Xiaombing. Now I'm going to explain about the learning objective and also the learning activities of our lesson plan. First is about learning objective. So learning objective means that is the goal of learning process or the student achievement that the teacher needs from the student uh, by the learning process from the beginning until the end of the class. So for the example of our lesson plans, we have two learning objective here. For the first one is through discussion learning, techniques, the student can first identify the elements of narrative text that are read and tenses used in narrative text. And for the second learning objective is retelling the contents of narrative text that is read using their own sentence. So there is two of our learning objectives in this lesson plan. And for the next is we move to the learning activities. So learning activities, which mean that the activities that the student and the teachers do while learning process from the beginning until the end of the class. All right. So that is learning activities. And for the method, in our lesson plan, we use cooperative learning, which means learning is an instructional method in which students work in a small group to accomplish a common learning goal with the guidance by their teachers. So there is the method of cooperative learning. And for the techniques, we use discussion, which means the techniques for solving problem with group thinking process. So I think that's all my explanation about the learning objective and also the learning activities of our lesson plan. So for the step and also time and the explanation about the learning activities will be explained by my partner, Mahotama. For my partner, time is short. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Lemon. So now I will continue the presentation. It is about the learning activities, especially in the opening. So in the opening, that we'll use time 15 minutes. And there is the learning activities or the steps that we'll use. The first is sending greetings, checking attendance of the students, and then praying. Okay, the second learning activities is show some pictures of characters in narrative text. And next is the teacher asks students to explain briefly about the character's image that have been shown. The next learning activities is the teachers encourage students to answer the question. No one to answer. It's okay to share your opinions. There is no right or no wrong answer. I'll get you. Okay, the fifth learning activities is the teacher listen and response to students' answers. Okay, the next learning activities is provide some instruction. The instruction is based on the pictures. They are fictional characters in a fairy tale and fantasy stories. Next is about the last learning activities in opening is connecting previous knowledge with the material to be studied. For example, I showed you those fiction characters because today we will learn about a narrative text, a fiction or a story that is written to entertain readers. Okay, I think that's all about the opening step of learning activities. So the next is about the core step. Will be explained by my partner Amarta. For Amarta, time is yours. Thank you.
All right, Mahatama, thanks for the time that is given to me. So now I would like to explain about core activities in this lesson plan, which is contained 15 minutes for the time allocation. And for the procedure of activities in the core activities, it's first, the teacher explains the elements and tenses used in the text. And then after that, the teacher asks students to rate the narrative text on the page 75 contained in the LCAT. And then the teacher gives assignment to the students to identify the elements contained in the narrative text that is read and the tenses used of it. And then the teacher asks students, like, do you prefer to work alone or with a group? Okay, since there are 6 students, each group consists of 3 people. That's the teacher says. And then the students work in a group um, in the provided breakout room, yeah, in Zoom meeting. And then if there are groups that do not discuss, the teacher provides assistance with a warm attitude. Like, if there are problems, please let me know. Then the teacher listens and when the students talk it, show warmth. And after that, the teacher reminds students about the discussion time. It's only just 5 minutes left. And then the teacher asks one of the groups to explain the element contained in the narrative text that is read out. And the teacher asks other groups to explain the tenses used in the narrative text that they have read. And the teacher provides feedback on the result of student discussion that they have done, right? And the teacher asks students, out of all of the characters, which one do you like or maybe you don't like? And students are given time to think about it. And the teacher appoints a student to answer. After that, the teacher asks other students to respond to their friend's answer. So that's how the discussion sessions running. Okay, for the next activities will be presented by my partner Indah. For Indah, time is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Amarta. Now I'm going to explain about the classroom activities. For these activities, the time given is 15 minutes. So the activities are first, the teacher, together with the students, summarize the lessons about the narrative text that has been studied. And then the teacher gives a task asking students to identify the elements of the narrative text that was read along with the tenses used, and then retell the narrative text that was read in their own words. And the last activities is the teacher close the lesson with greetings and prayers. So that's the classroom activities. Now we move to the learning resources. In this lesson plan, we use 3 learning resources. First is internet. So it will provide students with many things related to the material, and then of course LKS, and third is YouTube video. So that's also about the learning resources. For the next part, we will be presented by my friend Mahatama. For Mahatama, time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Indah. So now I'll continue. There is about the assessment that we'll use to assess the students. The first is about assessment technique. In the assessment technique, we will use a writing test to test about the students' knowledge about this material. Okay, the next is about instruments assessment. In this part, we'll divide the students to work in a group. So the first activities is the students will identify the elements and the tenses that use in a narrative text. Okay, in the next activities in working group is the students will retell a narrative story that the student have read in students' own work. Okay, I think that's all the assessment technique and instrument assessment. So next is about assessment rubric will be presented by my partner, Fuvanchar. Time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Maulana, for the chance given to me. So, well, everyone, the next part is about assessment rubric. So, I think this part will be little short, so please attention about this part. So, as you can see in the screen, we have red aspect. So, for the aspect, there are assessed is comprehension and also grammar. So here we use 1 as a lower score and 5 as a higher score. So each aspect also have some criteria. So you can also see the screen. So for the comprehension, we have 5 criteria. So the first is if student are very master of the content, they will got 5. And then if student dominate the content, they will got 4. If the student enough to master the content, they will got 3. Lack of control, they will got 2. And if student not mastering the material or the content, they will got 1. So that about the comprehension, and we move to the grammar. So if the grammar that used by student is a very precise, they will got 5. If we found little mistake, they will got 4. If there are some mistake in grammar, they will got 3. Lots of grammar mistakes, they will got 2. And makes a lot of grammar mistakes, they will got 1. So that's about the assessment rubric. And for the guide score, it's obtained from score that got from student divided by maximum score and multiplied by 100. So, well, everyone, that's my explanation about assessment rubric. So its mean is the end. This is the end of our explanation about lesson plan that is prose in teaching literature. So I want to say sorry if there is something wrong or mistake in delivering our lesson plan. We hope you can get the point what we explained before. So thank you so much for your nice attention and have a nice day. Thank you.